Okay, so to finish off the notes for this section, as I was saying before at the end of the last video, without filling out the table, now it certainly would be a good idea to fill out the table. For example, when x is 0, y is going to be a 0. When x is a -3, you would get a -4.5 actually here in this case for y. -2 squared would be 4. 4 times -1/2 would be -2. And then -1 squared, that would be -1/2. Okay, so I could use those points to plot those points and create a graph of this function by using these points here that we get off of the table. And due to the symmetry of a parabola, then we would also know that it would go through these points as well, and then I can draw a curve through these points, and this curve will be wider than the parent function's parabola because the value of a, the absolute value of a, is a number between 0 and 1. But you could also figure out that the graph is going to go through this point here and that point there based on the fact that the value of a is -1/2. So I would, if I move over 1, then that means I would just go down to a -1/2. Again, the value of a is going to tell you how far up or down you would need to go when you go to the right 1 unit. Or to the left 1 unit. That would also be the same value. All right, so changing the, so on problem 6 here it says, is changing the value of a or making the value of a less than 0 going to change the axis of symmetry? And the answer to that would be no, because once again the axis of symmetry is the y-axis, or in other words, x is equal to 0. All right, and then so next is being able to come up with a quadratic function given a point that the parabola goes through, and knowing that the equation is going to be in ax squared form. So if we were to take the coordinates of a point that a parabola goes through, plug in the x coordinate for x and the y coordinate for y, as you can see is done here, then I can solve to find the value of a. So if this parabola, as it shows, goes through the point 2, 2, then I can plug in those values for x and y. Just remember, g of x is just like our y here. Y equals ax squared would be the same as g of x equals ax squared. And then you can see solving for a, we would get a 1/2, which means the equation for that parabola is 1/2 x squared. So doing this problem, this next problem, we want to go through the point -2, -8. So the -8 is the y coordinate, the -2 is the x coordinate. -2 squared would then be a +4, and dividing both sides by 4, we would get a value of a that is 2, because -8 divided by 4 is 2. So this equation would be 2x squared. Okay, so that's really just about it. So there is the assignment on my.hrw.com, 16.1, that you need to make sure that you complete as soon as possible. The first due date is going to be this Friday. The due date is this Friday, so you need to make sure it gets done before then, but really you want to get it done now because we are going to be moving at a pretty good pace at this point. So you want to make sure that you're getting these assignments done as they are being given. Good luck. If you have any questions, please ask. Also make sure that you're coming in for tutorials if you need to make up any tests or anything that you need to make up or questions that you have. Please make sure that you're coming to tutorials. I am here Monday through Wednesday till at least 4:30, Thursdays till 5, and Wednesdays mornings at 8.